They needed to give me more. I still feel like I have unanswered questions. Like, I feel like they didn't give me the answers that I wanted. Like, except for maybe Iris and Keith. They did give me what I want. Maybe, kind of, sort of. I am your girl, Talisa Rae. What's up? How you doing? Ray of Sunshine. We are reviewing Married at First Sight, season number 9, the reunion episode. I know I got an excuse as to why I'm late all the time, but this time I'm really late because it was hard for me to talk. I'm like cutting up my tongue talking to you guys right now. They put some brackets in my mouth and it is tearing my tongue up, even with the wax, okay? Bear with me, y'all. We're gonna get through this. So we're at the reunion. Kevin Frazier is the host, and we speak to the couple separately and then collectively at the end. The first couple we see is Keith and Iris, and Iris does look beautiful. Fuchsia is a nice color on her, honey. Her wig is snatched, honey. Them edges is laid, honey. She is coming. Makeup is flawless. She is coming and she is ready. Keith is like, well, listen, you look good. Like, I'm sure he thought she looked good, but he was like, shit, I look good too. And all that black with them little braids going in the back of his head. He was like, I'm gonna give you toe to toe. Like, we're both very attractive people. And as such, I want you to see me too. I mean, I'm the one that made the decision to walk away. And I know you got something to prove, looking all hot and shit. But you do know I look good, right? On my mama, on my hood, I look fly. I look good. Catch my swag, wish you could. I look fly. Hey, I look good. I look good. Okay, y'all know that song? Anyway, let's go. Kevin is very diplomatic. He starts off by asking about the qualities that they think they have, that they share in common. One says, you know, we both like serving children. The other says we would have had a, you know, thrilling life. That we like the thrill of life, the adventure, blah blah blah. But then they do that whole recap of the season, and I'm glad that they did that, and I'm glad that they showed the snippets they did. There were a couple that they could have, like the lemonade scene, that would have been important for me to see, for people to see, so that we can just be reminded of their relationship. Like, you also saw like the turning point in the relationship and the real frustration with Keith. They showed the condom box, empty box issue. They showed the blowing of the dice. But then they also showed the steamy moment at the end where Iris was trying to open up and be more sexually intimate with her husband. And we were then, you know, we were side-eyeing, looking a little skeptical, but we're really happy that she was making that kind of progress. Kevin asks about decision day and how Iris felt, because it was a shock, a blow to the experts, to everybody. Listen, not to me. Some of us thought he made the wrong decision. Some of us thought he made the right decision. Either way, you were on the fence. Whatever side you were on, when Iris said she went blank, she blacked out because it was unbelievable. I'm sure we all could have related to that. I'm sure we could see it. I'm sure that we've all been blindsided when we have hope for something, right? And we're pretty much sure that it was going to happen, and then was blindsided like, I know the fuck he didn't. Like, I'm sure, male or female, we can agree with being blindsided. Shit going dark for a moment. Me, I see red. The train gets ready to leave the station because I'm gonna go the fuck off. Like, what the fuck you mean? Like, that's me. And as she was talking about her moment, she was like, you know, he was just like, yada yada yada. You a good, you know, you're a good woman. You're wonderful. You're amazing. But I want you to go do you. Like, she was being typical black girl swag. Very passionate about the thing that she was saying. Some people would see it as, you know, argumentative or nagging or whatever, but really it was just passion and her making sure he understood how she felt. But when the nigga hit her with, that's what I was saying, that's what I said, I was like, whoa. I laughed though, but I was like, whoa, like, you ain't telling me nothing I didn't say. That is what I said, Iris. Like, Let's not pretend that's not what I said. And kind of Kevin came to her rescue, like, but you do understand where she's coming from. And he was like, yeah, but that's how I felt, and that's what I said. She is a great person altogether, but she ain't for me. She said she would do it over again. She would do some things differently, and I'm looking like, Iris, what? What would you do differently? Okay, and she opened up and she said, I would push more on him having an issue with my virginity. Since it was such a huge issue, I would push more and ask more about it, because that was one of the things I was saying. Well, I hope you're going to communicate better. I hope you're going to tell him something. I hope you're going to open up too and be more vulnerable with your own self. Like, and she did. And so Kevin was like, well, he's here. Let's find out. And what Keith said to me was his truth. I can't fault him for it. I respect him for answering it. Wish he would have said something to her sooner. Maybe he was hoping that things would get better. But he did say, you know, he didn't really want to take on the responsibility of helping her create her sexual identity, because she didn't have any experience to go off of. Like, that's pretty much what he said. And so now, you know, when you're a virgin, you are allowing the non-virgin to help you create your sexual identity, and without having experience, you know. But in that same breath, most men would think that that is amazing, because now I get to mold you into exactly what I like in a sexual partner, in a sexual being. I get to walk you through the things that I like, and we can learn what you like. But that wasn't how Keith felt, okay? But that most men would be like, yeah, she gonna be my little private dancer. Your private dancer, dancing for money, do what you want me to do. Okay, y'all. Y'all know I be tripping. I be tripping, but it be good in my spirit. Can't sing, but I know a lot of songs. So for 5 seconds, I'm sure we were all like stunned when she said that she wanted to have the experience with him, because just like Kevin, I was like, what? But then she went on to clarify that she got in this experiment and was hoping that it would have been with whomever they had chose, because she figured that the experts would make them, we would have been compatible, whoever it was, not specifically Keith, but whoever it was. And we would have grown, and we would have had this experience together. Now, if y'all don't see that the same way as I do, let me know down below in the comments, because it makes me go back to that comment that Keith made a couple episodes ago, where he was like, I'm not sure if she wants to be married to me or if she just wants to be married. Who is she saying yes to? That's what it took me back to. Honest to God. Like, she's ready to give it up. Give it up, give it up, give it to me. She's ready to give it up, but only wants to give it to her husband. If you didn't catch it, she said, Keith, you're pretty much saying it would have been too much, it's too difficult for you to teach me or for me to learn from you how to have sex or to be sexually intimate. If you didn't catch it, she was in her feelings, y'all. She was in her feelings because she really was thinking Keith was her forever. But we knew that. We knew that she thought that Keith and her would be together forever. She said it the entire time. And honestly, she could be in her feelings, because he wasn't as open as he should have been. He talked about red flags. He said there were red flags that told me that this wouldn't work. That you weren't ready for this. One of which being the box of condoms. They were like 1 week in, 7-8 days in, when she found that those box of condoms, and she overreacted. At least I said that. I thought she overreacted. We can revisit it. You can let me know down below in the comments if you agree. But I feel like she did. My whole thing was be glad that he was being safe. But he should have taken the time out to dispose of the box, knowing that she would be there snooping through his shit. I felt for Iris, because she did. You know, her eyes teared up several times. One of those times was when she felt like she wasn't enough for him. Like, she felt like because she lacked that thing, that she was not enough. Iris was very adamant about she wished he had told her what the issue was so that it could be fixed. And he was like, 8 weeks isn't enough time to fix anything. How you gonna fix it? And she was like, even in the future, like, I was expecting us to continue forward, and I could have been working on fixing it. And Keith, to me, every response was, to me, in my spirit, he was finding the nicest way to say, I didn't want to do all that. I didn't want to expend all the energy. I'm not man enough to actually to teach you, and I don't have that kind of patience. Really, I don't even know what to do with that. Like, I don't want it. That's pretty much every response that he had for me, said to me, I wasn't ready. Okay, so I don't know if y'all remember your first time, but I remember my first time, and it was excruciatingly painful, okay? My partner was 17, I was 15, 2 weeks before my 16th birthday. And baby, let me tell you something. He was not patient, he was not gentle, he was not kind. He was none of those things. He was not willing to teach me. He was 17. He was just trying to, you know, feel a little pussy, okay? Take my virginity, okay? He swears up and down to this day that I took his, but that ain't what it was, okay? And so I understand him not wanting that responsibility, because regardless of what she said, we all have some type of expectation of what we think it's gonna be. That shit did not feel good. I don't even know why I went back and did it again, but I did, and it still didn't feel good. But the more I did it, the better it got. I'm just saying, you don't know that when you're doing it, and I don't know why we go back to do it. I really don't, because that shit was painful. Especially for someone young. And I guess him thinking, you know, she is old enough really to have an expectation of how it should feel and what she thinks it should be in the connection. But as an adult, we know that sex is 80% mental. So if you guys have that mental connection, even though the initial entry is going to be a little rough, because you're an adult, Keith, you would have taken your time with her, and it would have been that. He talked about her not being emotionally, physically, mentally intimate at all. And she started going down the line of all the things that she felt like matched what he was saying. And that he really should have took his time with her and seen where this relationship would have went. However, he didn't care enough about her to take his time and to wait. It's 8 weeks. Y'all, I know we are tough on these guys and these women, but it is literally only 8 weeks. We as women are very emotional. We can get attached to someone very quickly in an instant. We Google-eye and don't even know how it happened, when that turn was. Men, it takes a little bit more, and a lot of it has to do with sex. Y'all, any men listening, let me know down below in the comments if sex is a huge factor when you fall in love with somebody. I mean, they got other qualities, of course, but could sex possibly be one of those things that get you hooked? I want to know, because I ain't a man. Kevin asked if, you know, they still saw each other. Was, you know, is there any hope? I'm going to put all that together. And he said that they, you know, they go to dinner and that they still talk and everything. And Kevin said Iris still had some hope. And if the answer had changed, if he changed his answer today, what would you do? And Iris said that she would want to go to counseling, and that she would need proof that these issues that he say exist currently no longer exist for him, and then she would consider it. He asks Keith if he misses Iris, and he says he does. I do miss her. I mean, sleeping in the same bed and all that with somebody all that time, getting used to someone in your space like that, you do tend to meet them. They did build a bond, even though it wasn't sexual. It was a bond nonetheless. Kevin asked Keith straight out, would you date Iris again? His first answer was, I don't know, which is the PC answer. I don't know. I mean, he was actually really trying to save face for her too, and for himself, in case his decision changed. I don't know. In this moment, I don't know. And so she was like, be open, be honest, you know, like the things that she wanted him to do then, she said to him now. And then she said, you know, she alluded to him telling her that she needed to move on, because y'all knew she had that glimmer of hope. Remember in that last episode, you saw the smile when he said anything, I don't know what the future holds. He's always been very conscious of the things that he said as to not hurt her feelings, because he does value her as a person, just doesn't want to be with her for eternity, okay, for his forever, okay. Let's just clear that up. So Kevin goes on and he says, listen, in Iris's mind, she's hoping and she's sitting here thinking that maybe we can work this out, and I would go home with him today. Maybe we can work this out. So it's a yes or no answer. It's just that simple. Honey, he said, I think that I am not ready for a wife, and she is not ready to be a wife. So I would have to say no. Honey, she instantly got straight attitude. Like, don't speak for me. You cannot speak for me. Ah, shit. He was like, I'm telling you what I think. I'm not speaking for you. I'm telling you what I think. And in his thought, she wasn't ready to be a wife. Based on what I saw in the 8 weeks of airing of show that we have, I don't think that she's ready to be a wife. I had to clear that up so that there's no confusion, because I don't know if she's really ready. But based on what I saw, I'm not sure. You know, remember now, she's a little controlling. And she really needed to hear him say no. She really did, because she was really hopeful. And her eyes swelled up with tears again for like the 3rd or 4th time. She really needed to hear. She was really holding out hope that he would say yes. And they would walk away holding hands and figuring out how they would move forward. But he said it's a hard no for him. In the Iris cam, you know, she's all like, I'm not broken, I'm Iris, I'm still whole, I know me better, blah, blah, blah. You know that shit we say when our heart is broke and we really just trying to recover. I know more about me, so I could do better when I go into my next relationship. I commend her. I commend her. But all of it, the whole energy of it, felt like, to me, it was, I'm saving face. Because at night I still cry because I really wanted to be with, I really thought this was it. I really wanted to be with Keith. I'm not laughing at her, but I kind of am. Keith said he has not been dating, and then she went on and bust him out and said, have you had sex? Have you had sex? Like, now why in the fuck would it matter? But I'm sure fine ass Keith had some sex, okay? With a woman that was waiting and willing, ready and willing, waiting to give it up as soon as he called. Like, I can't believe you went on here, but I'm gonna give you this good anyway, because I know you missed me and I was on your mind the whole time you was with that virgin. Oh God, help me Jesus. Okay, some things that I took away was that they both did open up a little more, even though Iris always opens up. Iris really talks too much, but we have 2 ears that we need to learn how to listen more, ladies. We need to be more attentive when it comes to listening, because people will tell you exactly what you need to know, even in their silence, even in their actions. We all saw it, where Iris didn't, and she was with him so much more. And one of you said that later on she went on in an interview to say that he was gone with he was gone most of the time with his friends. Well, that is also an indicator. I told y'all, when you first meet somebody and y'all together, you want to learn everything about them when they really want to be with you. Otherwise, they find other shit to do. People make time for the things they want to do. I feel like Keith should have been that guy when they were married. He should have been more vocal while they were married. He still wasn't as vocal as I would have hoped him to be, but he could have given her these answers, which may have changed her way of thinking, instead of giving her hope that they would be together. I don't know. I might be wrong, y'all. Let's go to the next couple. I done spent way too much time on Keith and I. Greg and Deanna come out. You know what it is Deanna always looks oily because she doesn't put any makeup on. She doesn't let them put any makeup on her. It's likely because she has sensitive skin and she doesn't want it to break her out. That's why she always looks so shiny to me. Now, when she walks out, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. My first thing was, is she pregnant? She looked like she had a little baby bump on her stomach. Your neck gets, especially when you're having a girl, your neck gets all big and it gets thick and black when you get pregnant. I don't know how many of y'all have been pregnant and have had girls. I had boys, so my neck wasn't black. But every woman that I knew who had a girl kind of resembled the Deanna look. Because girls pull your beauty from you. Lord, I just want to thank you for the 2 boys that I got. They are very handsome. Nonetheless, a girl would have probably stole everything I had. All of it, okay? When they showed their playback, I actually shed a little tear. Like, I was really happy for them, which is kind of crazy. It must mean it's lady time, fast approaching, because who the hell cries off of those little snippets? We saw the whole, one of the big things they talked about was the compliments. And Kevin was like, I had never heard of such a thing that a woman didn't want so many compliments. One of y'all was like, it's awkward. I don't know when that was. That was episode 4 or 5. But one of y'all got on my head about it. And I was like, yeah, well, she gonna want all them compliments. And that's what she said next. Because he was like, now she wants my compliments. She's asking for them. You better hold on to them damn compliments, girl. Honey, I don't know what to tell you. Because you're going to be fishing for them. When you do have a baby and you are looking ugly and you are tired, you're going to want somebody to tell you how beautiful you are, even when you're ugly, okay? Even when you don't feel your best. So she better have corrected that quickly. They too discussed decision day and what they were feeling. And Deanna said, you know what? How would it be with the cameras off? what would it be like? And she thought about the times that they weren't around and how intentional they were in their conversations, and how, you know, they got to know each other when the cameras were not rolling, and how she felt at that point. And that's what made her say yes, knowing that when the cameras are off, we are still going to have this connection. And then Greg, you know, his same doubts that he had been saying, his doubts and fears of when the camera goes off, what's going to happen? Is she not going to progress? Are we going to be stagnant? He's been saying the same thing for as long as we've been watching season 9. So that man is definitely consistent. And like I said, I would have taken Greg if she went ahead and fucked up. I probably would have been in his DMs. I'm just playing. Or am I? We find out that they are still married. We also find out that she did open up, and she was the first person to say I love you to Greg. And not only did she say I love you, pour out her soul and say I love you, Greg, or whatever, or however she said it, that nigga didn't say nothing back. She was like, he didn't say anything back. And so I'm so one of those people who don't want you to push anyone to say anything at a specific time. So I didn't press the issue. Well, because you knew he loved you already, okay? He didn't have to vocalize it. His actions actually say, I love you, Deanna. The way he's been patient with you says, I love you, Deanna. The way that he steps outside of who he is for you says, I love you, Deanna. So you really didn't need the validation verbally, because all of his actions said it previously. So girl, if you don't come on and tell the truth, yeah, you said it because you do feel it. But you didn't require it. You didn't ask about it because you knew it just based on who he was and how he's treated you thus far. And look, here's another thing. So they moved into Greg's place, which would be the, you know, optimal decision. Rent out her little townhouse, go to the big house. He's allergic to Sandy. If that ain't love, I don't know what is. So he taking Claritin and shit every day, Benadryl and shit, getting shot to the doctor because he loves you so much. And he knows the attachment to Sandy, and he wants to love Sandy too, because that's an extension of you. Like, if that ain't an expression of love, somebody, that's how come the hair can't be around. And Sandy's not allowed upstairs because he's allergic. Because her hair gets everywhere. I love the compromises. They are really working well together. I'm really happy for them. We saw that she said I love you on the beanbag. What was they doing on that beanbag, girl? What was they doing? Y'all better tell me what they was doing on that beanbag. That beanbag looked like it got some work put in. Deanna kind of tricked us and said that we are expecting a child, but it was her sister. They're going to be an aunt and uncle, and they plan on having children in the near future. But baby, I don't know. I feel like they lying, because the way she was like hiding her stomach a little bit, like, I don't know, but who am I? They probably aren't pregnant, but she did give me pregnant vibes. If you've ever been pregnant, that you'd be looking like she was looking. So I'm really happy for them. They look really comfortable together. I pray that things work out and continue to work out, and that they be one of those couples that sit on the couch and give us their opinions of what's going on. I really hope that we see the longevity in their relation. Let's go Matt and Amber. I'm so sick of Matt and Amber, I don't know what to do with myself. Because they really don't seem like they've progressed much. Matt is still a fucking asshole with no feelings. He does not consider anyone else. He's still very manipulative and a user. And Amber is still fucking googly, stupid eye over whatever nigga that's going to come around her way. She made the right choice for her life when it came to their relationship. But if he would have said yes first, she would have said yes too. And I'm over the two of them. Honestly, I am. But she did look really cute in her little romper. I thought that was cute. When they showed their little snippets, I got angry and embarrassed by watching it. And I wasn't the one part of it. I felt ashamed. I feel like, was watching and didn't have any real emotion. Amber said it was the hardest 8 weeks that she has ever done. But the thing that got me was when Kevin asked Matt, when did you know? He said he had his doubts in the first 15 minutes of meeting her. The first 15 minutes. So my nigga, you drugged this out for 8 weeks because you needed a place to stay. You needed a little checky check and you was hungry. You knew you had doubts within the first 15 minutes. Yes, she was a little aggressive a little assertive, let's say that, because I hate aggression when it comes to women. She was a little assertive, may not have been exotic enough, a whole lot of things, but you didn't give it a chance if you knew or you had some doubts within the first 15 minutes. And like she said, why did you fuck me on day 2 if you had your doubts? Because he a nigga, Amber. Sex is sex to them. They don't have to have the emotional connection that we do. And she was sitting there talking about, I feel like he hates me. And he was sitting there saying, shit, I don't hate you, but I need some time. Like, you clingy as fuck. She pretty much said what she said at the end. Don't play with my emotions. I was humiliated. That his friend told her that he was living a double life. That about 10 people had come up to her and said something about what he was doing. He's still giving PC answers. So I was feeling like maybe he don't want no more hate mail. Kevin straight out asked, did you ever have sex with another woman? And he said no. And I said, where's the lie detector test? Because we would show that that's 98.9% a lie. You was fucking. You know what I thought about when I had said that last episode, I had said he stopped fucking her when he started fucking somebody else. He probably actually stopped sleeping with her when he realized she was dickmatized, and it was that thing that was holding her to him, that he needed to stop having sex, and of course that he didn't really like her and he was just going through the motions, getting the nut, and he didn't like her. She was not his speed. He was not physically attracted to her. He was not even in it to win it. He wasn't there. He wasn't present. Like he said, he had his doubts 15 minutes in. And when she's all saying, I feel like he hates me and I just want to be friends, I want to be able to be out and be like, hey, ex-husband. I just feel like she is so desperate and just so insecure. And Kevin had to tell her, sometimes things don't work out and you need to move on. Somebody needed to tell her that. And she was like nodding her head like, because you look stupid. Listen, so in the Amber cam, I'm glad she got a dog, y'all. I told y'all she needed a dog because she wants some love and affection and attention. And I'm going to tell you, every time she come home, that dog is going to be so happy to see her. Oh, mommy's home. Oh, I love her. And it's a rescue. Oh, my God. She made the best decision that I have seen her make in the 8 weeks that we have known her, okay? This was the decision of a lifetime. I'm so glad that she got a dog. Actually, I would like to go follow her. I need to go follow her on Instagram and Twitter to see how much she fell in love with that dog now, okay? Y'all better stop playing with me. Y'all know she needed that dog. She said something about she went and had a crazy moment. Pretty much she was promiscuous girl, trying to get over Matt. And now she is being more reflective and understands herself more. All of that to say she's still gullible, because if he called her to fuck, she would do it. All that to say that he's still an asshole. He's an opportunist. Yeah. I noticed that most of my notes are about Keith and Iris, and partly because I wanted to see what his reaction was, what her reaction was. I think I was more into them because everybody else, I kind of expected what they would say. Okay, so then we have Jamie and Liz. Their body language is always so weird to me. Jamie is always rigid and stiff, like very controlled, which tells you he has a controlling personality. And Liz is always uncomfortable and looks, awkward to me, which says that she has some type of insecurities going on inside. Like, that's just my observation on their body language, but what the fuck do I know? So we watch the playback. We watch the snippets of their season. And that nigga Liz is mouthing basic Caucasian sex. Like, that was the biggest thing that was said the entire season. Not really the biggest thing, but one of the big things that was said the entire season. And she is mouthing it and thinking it's funny, when actuality it was an insult to his manhood. But listen, what do I know? I've never had basic Caucasian sex. Never slept with a Caucasian man. Don't know how basic it is. And from the black women that I hear who date white men, There's nothing basic about it. It's real freaky and exotic and nasty and weird, and you know, shit, I ain't judging nobody at all. Okay, we talk about what happens after decision day, and we find out that they cracked from real life stressors, from her moving in with Jamie to one of her dogs being sick. Come to find out her dog was in ICU, and so they broke up. She chose the dog. She couldn't deal with him while her dog was sick. She was saying, I can't talk to you. She had to prioritize, and went on to say, the dog has been in my life a lot longer than Jamie. The point of a spouse is so that they can support you when you need them emotionally as well. And this is one of those things that require emotional support, Liz, and you pushed your husband away. I mean, that really speaks volumes about who you are as a person. And maybe you are a little self-centered. Maybe you are a little selfish. Are you a bit of a narcissist yourself? Like, I don't know. How do you guys feel about that? Let me know down below in the comments. Do you think that she should have broke up with him for the whatever amount of time it was because of how stressed she was over her little puppy? But all in all, they are still married and they are still together. I was watching them and I said, they may need to be those couples that are married and live in two different places. Like, no, that's a thing. People do be married. I had an uncle and an aunt that lived in two separate homes. She didn't want any children, nor did she want the responsibility of being someone's bonus mom. So they stayed in separate homes until all the children were out. All of his children were out of the house. A decision that my uncle made consciously. He loved her, but he also loved his children. So they may need to be one of those people that live in separate homes and come together, you know, a couple times a week for dinner and shit. In their little marriage cam, it seems like they're in a better space. He has actually moved into Liz's small little apartment, and so I don't know if that was a good idea. But so now all the couples are together and they are all on the couches surrounding each other, and now, you know, Kevin's got questions about the season itself. First question he asked was anyone surprised that Keith and Iris didn't make it? And the consensus was that they were. The only people that really didn't provide responses are Matt and sometimes, excuse me, and sometimes Amber. But even here, Amber was in agreement that they were all surprised because they were so good together. They seemed to mesh well. Well, y'all don't know what the hell goes on behind closed doors. And Liz is like, I feel like you guys will run in parallel again one day, that your paths will cross again one day and they'll be together. She over there giving Iris all kind of hope, ain't she? Not to say that that isn't true, but so now we are talking about the scene, the race car driving scene where Jamie tells Liz to shut up. I mean, we were all taken aback by that scene. I know she was being rude and disrespectful, speaking over the instructor, but that was a little harsh and he could have handled it differently, knowing her that she was eccentric and all over the place. As they are watching, because remember, Keith and Iris weren't there, but as they are watching, the couple's reactions are priceless. They are very much uncomfortable. Especially they go from the racetrack scene to in the house where she knocks over the table, and they show that she's really volatile. And though Jamie has been very much so narcissist, very much so disrespectful in his words, his body language never changed. He has always been in control of his body, where her blow-ups are more explosive than his are, right? Kevin asked Deanna, if your husband said for you to shut up, what would you do? And all she kept saying was, oh no. Oh no. You see Iris on the other side doing the same thing. It's not gonna happen. And you see Liz in doubt, like, oh yeah, okay, whatever. No, honey, there are boundaries set. There are things that would happen that we understand. We wouldn't even be together no more had you told me to shut up. I would not even have participated. They would have had to shut the scene down because I would have acted such a fool. That's what those ladies are saying. Shut up is not an option for you to tell me, babe, let the man speak. That's different. Shut up, my nigga, you ready to fight. you ready to catch some blows. Now, I don't believe in no woman hitting no man or no man hitting no woman, but I would have been a firecracker. Words would have been said that I would not have been able to take back. And so Liz starts to say, you know, they paint me out to be a villain. They're not showing everything. They're just showing it where I look bad. Jamie says, that's right, you were running your mouth in the car both times. And they didn't show that. Like, how do you tell somebody you running your mouth? She is becoming visibly upset because really she cannot rationalize her behavior. He's telling her, now is your opportunity to explain to the people so that they understand what was happening. And she shuts down and starts to saying, I don't want to talk about it. Don't force me to talk about it. You know, like trying to say that he was, you know, intruding. He had to say, hold on up. I'm not being disrespectful. I'm really trying to help you. But you making yourself look stupid again. And again, you see everybody on the couch very uncomfortable. Nobody wants to be in the midst of that shit. Like, whew, control yourself. She needs some therapy. So then they talk about Iris's virginity. And if it has shocked everyone. If Iris being a virgin has shocked everyone. And everybody was shocked at her being a virgin. They went on to ask Greg how he would have handled it. And Greg, he said very nicely, you know what? You would have to be patient. It would have been a shocker. You would have had to be patient. It would have been a shocker. Jamie, he just was like, yeah, Liz was like, he wouldn't have been able to handle it. He wants to have sex every day. They were in consensus that it would be hard. Now, if you notice, Matt's not answering anything and Kevin is not asking Matt to answer any questions like this. Matt is sitting over there in his own world with the same attitude he had when he walked off from the barbecue on the final episode. My tongue, y'all, it is tearing me up. I'm having a hard time. I don't know, sometime in there, Deanna had said something about commending Iris for her decision. Iris is really bitter because she makes mention that he didn't want to grow with her. Nobody asked you about that, Iris. Nobody asked you, but you made sure to make it be known that he didn't want to grow with you. And specifically as it related to your virginity. And now you are a virgin divorcee, a divorced virgin. So you're a true gem now. You're really one of a kind now. Like, all right, let's not hold that now as a badge of honor, okay? Let's let it go and let's stop leading with you a virgin and you waiting for your husband. Let's not. So then we talk about the fall apart between Matt and Amber, and they ask, did everybody know? Did you guys know what was going on between the two of them? The women said that they all knew what was going on, that they had a lot of conversations. Liz particularly said that she knew because some of the people they knew intertwined with one another, and it was hard for her to have to go back and tell Amber some things. So y'all, so everybody was telling Amber what was happening. Everybody was watching. Everybody was giving her some advice. Amber, like one of y'all said, did not take full responsibility, and she should have walked away the moment she felt it in her spirit. Okay, because even if you don't have discernment because you're a believer, as a woman you have intuition, and your intuition told your ass to run. The first night he stayed out all night. Matt decides to say that he felt bad about it in their separate interview with Kevin. He did say he felt bad and kind of, you know, apologized or whatever the fuck that was that he did. But he went on again to say that he felt bad about, you know, how he treated her or how things turned out. But whatever it is, it's bullshit. So I wrote down here in the middle of this, Iris talks too much because she always got something to say about everything. She need to be quiet and listen. Kevin asked, how many of you were ready to be married when you started Married at First Sight? Keith did not raise his hand. Matt did not raise his hand. Everybody else raised their hand. So I want to know, if you weren't ready, why in the fuck would you sign up? And the question was, who thought you were ready? So why would you sign up? To me, Keith, that means if you knew you weren't ready when you started, then you knew at the end that you weren't ready and you were going to say no matter who it was. too much into it, y'all. Let me know down below in the comments. Then he asked, now that you know what you know about marriage, how many of you are really ready for marriage? Everybody raises their hand except for Matt, except for Keith, and now Jamie. And Jamie says he was ready but really didn't know what to expect. Nobody knows. If you've never been married before, you have no clue as to what to expect. None. Every marriage is different because every person is different. The dynamic between people are different. And marriage is spelled W-O-R-K and requires the 3 C's: commitment, communication, and compromise. Baby, I'm going to tell you, it was a rough season for some of them. I am so grateful that you stuck this season out with me. No matter how late my review came up, you were still with me. And so guess what? So when Married at First Sight DC comes on, I'm gonna review it. And hopefully all my ducks, quack, 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 are in a row and I'll be able to upload them on time. You hear that? On time, which means Thursday morning, Thursday afternoon, Thursday. I am gonna start reviewing Love and Marriage Huntsville. I know we're about 4 episodes in. Don't worry, I'm gonna do number 4 by itself and 1, 2, 3 together. I think that's right. Whichever it was, whatever one was yesterday, I'm reviewing it by itself and then the other ones collectively. I hate that we are parting from here, but listen, I've got other stuff going on. Truthful Thursdays is coming back. I'm doing my lives on Sunday. Now we have Love and Marriage Huntsville. So, come on, Stay Family. We've grown close and we have a bond now. I am your girl, Talisa Rae. Thank you so much for hanging in there with me. Listen, it is not too late for you to become a ray of sunshine. Go ahead and click that subscribe button. You're gonna wanna click the notification bell so that you can be alerted that I've uploaded a video. And I think that about covers it. Hugs and kisses and lots of love. I'll catch you on the next video.